Dear Heavenly Father, as the first rays of sunlight pierce through the darkness of night, I come before your throne of grace with a heart that carries both the weight of yesterday's struggles and the anticipation of today's possibilities. This morning, prayer to begin your day isn't just another routine I'm performing, but a sacred conversation between my weary soul and your eternal love, a divine exchange where I trade my burdens for your peace, my anxieties for your assurance, my limitations for your limitless power. Father, I acknowledge that I cannot face this day in my own strength, with my own wisdom, or through my own understanding, because you have designed me to be dependent on you, to find my identity in your love, and to discover my purpose in your perfect will. Lord, I confess that sometimes I wake up feeling overwhelmed by the challenges that await me, intimidated by the responsibilities I must shoulder, discouraged by the problems that seem to have no solutions, frustrated by the prayers that feel unanswered, and exhausted by trying to figure everything out on my own. But in this moment, as I offer this morning prayer to begin your day, something shifts in my spirit, something awakens in my heart, something reminds me that you are not distant or disconnected from my daily struggles, but intimately involved in every detail of my existence, tenderly aware of every concern that keeps me awake at night, and actively working to transform every difficulty into a display of your glory. Father, I thank you that this morning prayer to begin your day is more than words spoken into empty space. It's a bridge between heaven and earth, a connection between your divine nature and my human need, a pathway from despair to hope, from confusion to clarity, from weakness to strength. I'm grateful that you don't require me to have all the answers before I approach you, to solve all my problems before I seek your help, to perfect my character before I experience your love, because your grace meets me exactly where I am, in all my imperfection and incompleteness, with all my questions and uncertainties, carrying all my fears and failures. But first, Lord, I need you to know that I'm tired of trying to be strong enough for everyone else while feeling weak inside, wise enough to make all the right decisions while struggling with doubt, faithful enough to encourage others while battling my own discouragement, and peaceful enough to appear composed while experiencing inner turmoil. I need you to understand that this morning prayer to begin your day comes from a place of genuine desperation for your presence, authentic hunger for your peace, and sincere longing for your perspective on the circumstances that seem too complex for my finite mind to comprehend. Father, I surrender my need to understand everything before I trust, to see the entire path before I take the first step, to feel completely confident before I move forward in faith, because I'm learning that trust isn't the absence of questions, but the presence of confidence in your character, that faith isn't the elimination of doubt, but the decision to believe despite uncertainty, that peace isn't the absence of problems, but the presence of your spirit in the midst of difficulties. This is important because when I truly grasp that you are sovereign over every situation I will face today, that you are working all things together for my good even when I can't see how, that you are preparing me for breakthrough even in the midst of what feels like breakdown, everything changes in my perspective, my posture, and my peace. Lord, I declare that this morning prayer to begin your day is transforming my heart from a place of anxiety to a sanctuary of trust, from a battlefield of worry to a dwelling place of worship, from a prison of fear to a palace of faith. I believe that you have been orchestrating events, arranging circumstances, and aligning opportunities long before I even knew I would need them, working behind the scenes of my life to ensure that everything I encounter today serves your purpose and contributes to my growth, even the challenges that seem designed to discourage me, even the setbacks that appear to derail me, even the delays that feel like denials. Father, I ask you to help me remember throughout this day that my identity isn't determined by my performance but by your love, that my security isn't based on my circumstances but on your character, that my future isn't limited by my past failures but expanded by your grace and mercy. I need your Spirit to remind me when I start to slip into old patterns of thinking, when I begin to operate from a place of fear instead of faith, when I attempt to carry burdens that you've already offered to bear, when I try to solve problems that you've already provided solutions for. If you feel that stirring in your heart right now, if something inside you is saying yes to God's plan for your life today, if you're ready to trade your worry for His peace, type "I receive" in the comments below. Let's declare together that this is our moment of breakthrough, our morning of transformation, our day of divine intervention. Father, as I transition into this sacred space of gratitude, I want to thank you not only for the obvious blessings that I can see and touch and count, but also for the invisible mercies that surround me like air, the hidden grace that sustains me like breath, the secret love that upholds me like gravity, and the mysterious ways you work that I may never fully understand but can always completely trust. I'm grateful for the breath in my lungs that connects me to life, for the beating of my heart that reminds me of your faithfulness, for the strength in my body that enables me to serve, for the clarity in my mind that allows me to worship, and for the capacity in my spirit that creates space for your presence to dwell within me. Lord, I thank you for the challenges that have strengthened my character, for the disappointments that have deepened my dependence on you, for the delays that have developed my patience, for the detours that have directed me toward your perfect will, and for the difficulties that have demonstrated your power to sustain me through anything life can present. I'm learning to see your hand in every season of my story, understanding that even the chapters that felt like tragic endings were actually divine transitions, that even the experiences that seemed like devastating losses were actually strategic repositioning, that even the moments that appeared to be complete failures were actually foundational preparation for future success. But first, Father, I need to confess that gratitude doesn't always come naturally to me, especially when circumstances feel overwhelming, when prayers seem unanswered, when progress appears stagnant, when hope feels distant, because my human nature tends to focus on what's missing rather than what's present, on what's wrong rather than what's right, on what's lacking rather than what's abundant. Yet this morning prayer to begin your day is teaching me that thankfulness is not a feeling I wait to experience, but a choice I make regardless of my emotions, not a response to perfect circumstances, but a declaration of faith in your perfect character, not a reward for answered prayers, but a foundation for continued communication with you. In this moment, I'll share something that has revolutionized my understanding of surrender. The realization that letting go of my need to control doesn't mean becoming passive or irresponsible, but rather becoming actively cooperative with your divine plan, intentionally collaborative with your perfect timing, and purposefully aligned with your sovereign will. Lord, I release my grip on relationships that I've been trying to force into my preferred mold, opportunities that I've been attempting to manipulate through my own efforts, outcomes that I've been striving to guarantee through my limited strength, because I'm discovering that my best attempts to orchestrate my own destiny often interfere with your superior orchestration of my divine purpose. Father, I surrender my timeline to your eternal perspective, my understanding to your infinite wisdom, my strength to your unlimited power, my resources to your abundant provision, my reputation to your perfect justice, my future to your faithful promises, because I'm learning that what I hold tightly in my closed fists cannot receive what you want to place in my open hands, that what I clutch desperately in my own control cannot experience what you desire to accomplish through your supernatural intervention, that what I protect fearfully through my human wisdom cannot benefit from what you provide generously through your divine strategy. Lord, this morning prayer to begin your day is becoming a holy exchange where I trade my inadequacy for your sufficiency, my confusion for your clarity, my weakness for your strength, my poverty for your abundance, my limitations for your possibilities, my humanity for your divinity working through me. I ask you to help me maintain this posture of surrender, not just in this moment of prayer, but throughout every moment of this day, not just when circumstances are comfortable, but especially when situations become challenging, not just when your plan seems clear, but particularly when your ways appear mysterious. Don't leave yet, because I'm about to share something that could transform how you approach every relationship, every decision, every challenge you're facing right now. The revelation that surrender is not about giving up, but about giving over, not about becoming weak, but about accessing unlimited strength, not about losing control, but about partnering with the one who controls all things. Father, I recognize that my attempts to manage everything in my own understanding have often led to frustration and exhaustion, while my simple acts of obedience to your leading have consistently produced fruit that remains, joy that sustains, and peace that surpasses all human logic. I trust you, Lord, with the dreams that seem delayed beyond reason, with the prayers that appear unanswered despite persistence, with the promises that feel distant despite your faithfulness, with the plans that look impossible despite your power, because I believe that you are weaving all things together for my good, even the threads that seem dark and confusing from my limited perspective, even the patterns that appear chaotic and meaningless from my finite viewpoint, even the designs that look destructive and purposeless from my earthly understanding. Lord, I ask for wisdom that transcends human intelligence and reaches into divine revelation, for discernment that cuts through deception and perceives spiritual reality, for understanding that penetrates beyond surface appearances and grasps eternal significance, for insight that sees past temporary circumstances and recognizes permanent purposes, because I desperately need your perspective on situations that seem impossible, relationships that appear broken, opportunities that look closed, and dreams that feel dead. I need your guidance in conversations where words seem inadequate, in decisions where multiple paths appear equally valid, in circumstances where your will seems hidden, in moments where your presence feels distant. But don't leave yet, because I'm about to share something that could revolutionize how you face every fear, overcome every obstacle, and break through every barrier that's been holding you back. The understanding that you, Father, are not just willing to help us navigate our difficulties, but are actively working to transform our tests into testimonies, our trials into triumphs, our setbacks into comebacks, our breakdowns into breakthroughs. Lord, I believe that you have strategically positioned me for this exact season, that every experience has been preparation for this moment, that every challenge has been strengthening for this opportunity, that every delay has been divine timing for this breakthrough. I declare over my life and circumstances that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Not because I am strong enough to deflect every attack, but because you are faithful enough to transform every assault into advancement, every opposition into opportunity, every resistance into resilience, every battle into victory. I choose to stand on your promises rather than sink in my problems, to focus on your power rather than fixate on my limitations, to trust in your provision rather than worry about my resources, to believe in your plan rather than fear my circumstances. I want to pause right here and ask you something from my heart. What story has God been writing in your life that you're ready to share with others? What breakthrough are you believing for that we can stand in faith together about? What testimony is waiting to be born from the test you're currently facing? Share your heart in the comments below, because your story of God's faithfulness might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today, to keep believing, keep trusting, keep hoping. In this sacred moment of trust, Father, I place before you every concern that has been stealing my sleep, every worry that has been clouding my judgment, every fear that has been limiting my faith, every anxiety that has been robbing my peace, every doubt that has been weakening my confidence, because I acknowledge that these burdens were never mine to carry alone. These problems were never too big for your power to solve. These situations were never beyond your ability to transform. I recognize that fear is not from you, 2 Timothy 1:7, but is a counterfeit voice that tries to speak louder than your voice of love, a false prophecy that attempts to override your promises of victory, a lying spirit that seeks to convince me that my current circumstances define my future possibilities. Father, this morning prayer to begin your day has become more than just words spoken in a quiet moment. It has become a declaration of dependence on your strength, an announcement of alliance with your purposes, a proclamation of partnership with your plan, a testimony of trust in your character, and a prophecy of the victory you've already secured. I believe that as I align my heart with your heart, as I surrender my will to your will, as I trust your timing over my urgency, as I choose your way over my preferences, I will begin to see breakthrough in areas where I've only seen barriers, progress in places where I've only seen problems, provision in situations where I've only seen lack, and victory in battles where I've only seen defeat. Before we continue to the final section, I want you to know that breakthrough is coming to your life, victory is on the horizon, and your best days are not behind you, but ahead of you. If you're ready to subscribe to a life of faith over fear, to daily encounters with the God who transforms everything he touches, to break through in every area where you've been believing, hit that subscribe button now and join this community of believers who refuse to give up. Father, as I enter into this culminating moment of declaration and divine encounter, I feel the weight of your presence filling this space like glory clouds in the temple, the warmth of your love surrounding my heart like arms of comfort, the strength of your spirit rising within my soul like rivers of living water, and the power of your peace settling over my mind like a blanket of divine tranquility. This morning prayer to begin your day has transformed from a simple routine into a supernatural gateway, from a religious obligation into a relational conversation, from a momentary exercise into an eternal exchange, from a human attempt to reach heaven into a divine invitation for heaven to touch earth through my surrendered life. I declare with absolute confidence that today is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. Not because my circumstances are perfect or my problems have disappeared, but because your love is perfect and your promises never fail, not because my understanding is complete or my strength is sufficient, but because your wisdom is infinite and your power is unlimited, not because my faith is unwavering or my emotions are stable, but because your faithfulness is unchanging and your character is unshakable. I choose to walk in the confidence that comes from knowing I am deeply loved by the Creator of the universe, divinely protected by the armies of heaven, and eternally secured in the unchanging nature of your covenant promises. Lord, I thank you that this morning prayer to begin your day has reminded me of who I am in you, not a victim of circumstances, but a victor through Christ, not defined by past failures, but destined for future breakthrough, not limited by human ability, but empowered by divine possibility, not trapped by present difficulties, but transformed by eternal purposes, not defeated by temporary setbacks, but destined for permanent victory. I'm grateful that you see potential where others see problems, that you see purpose where others see pain, that you see promotion where others see setbacks, that you see breakthrough where others see barriers, because your perspective is always redemptive, always restorative, always revelatory of the greater things you have prepared for those who love you. As I prepare to step into this day with renewed confidence and supernatural expectation, Father, I carry with me the unshakable assurance that you go before me, to prepare the way like a divine advance team, that you walk beside me to provide companionship like the most faithful friend, that you stand behind me to protect my back like the most vigilant guard, that you work within me to accomplish your purposes like the most skilled craftsman, and that you hover over me to cover my life like the shadow of the Almighty. I am not alone in any situation I will face today, not abandoned to figure things out by myself, not left to fight battles in my own strength, not required to find solutions through my limited understanding, because you are my ever-present help in times of trouble, my constant companion in seasons of uncertainty, my unfailing source of wisdom and strength in moments of decision. I declare that every challenge I encounter today is disguised opportunity for you to demonstrate your power. Every problem I face is camouflaged platform for you to display your provision. Every difficulty I experience is hidden doorway for you to reveal your deliverance. Every obstacle I meet is veiled invitation for you to show your ability to make ways where there seem to be no ways. I will not be overcome by circumstances because you have overcome the world, John 16:33. And greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world, 1 John 4:4. Which means that every force that rises against me today must ultimately bow to the force of your love that lives within me. Every voice that speaks defeat must be silenced by the voice of your victory that speaks through me. Every weapon that forms against me must fail because I am covered by the armor of your protection. Father, as this sacred time of morning prayer to begin your day draws to a close, I want to thank you not just for hearing my words, but for answering them even before I spoke them, not just for listening to my requests, but for understanding the deepest cries of my heart that I don't even know how to articulate, not just for being present in this moment, but for being faithful in every moment that follows, not just for blessing this prayer, but for blessing the entire day that flows from this foundation of faith. You are the Alpha and Omega of my story, the beginning and end of my journey, the author and finisher of my faith, Hebrews 12:2, the first word and the final word in every chapter of my existence. I bless you, Lord, for your patience with my imperfections and inconsistencies, your grace in my weaknesses and failures, your love despite my shortcomings and mistakes, your mercy that covers my sins and inadequacies. I worship you for your unchanging character that provides stability in an unstable world, your unwavering promises that provide hope in uncertain times, your unending mercy that provides fresh starts every morning, your unlimited power that provides possibilities beyond my imagination. You are worthy of all praise from every created thing, deserving of all honor from every living soul, entitled to all glory from every nation and tongue, now and forevermore, throughout all eternity. As I go forth into this day carrying the presence, power, and peace of this morning prayer, to begin your day, I am equipped for every good work you have prepared for every divine appointment you have arranged, positioned for every breakthrough you have planned, and empowered for every victory you have promised. May your blessing rest upon everyone who has joined me in this sacred moment. May your grace surround every person who seeks your face. May your love transform every heart that calls upon your name. If this prayer has touched your heart, if you felt God's presence in this moment, if you're ready to step into the breakthrough He has for you, simply type Amen below. I'm praying for each of you by name, believing that God is about to do something beautiful in your life. May the grace and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you always.